Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Really glad to have you guys here. Now, today is Thursday, April 18th, 2019. Let's get started. I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about. Toward the end of this program, I'm going to talk about the 737 MAX airplanes and what happened with them. But let's get started right now and open up the charts right here. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is the gold price today. Let me pull the chart down a little bit so we can see what we're doing here. Get it positioned. Gold today is up 50 cents. A little bit. 1274.10. Let's take a look at silver. Silver is up just a little bit too. It's up 3 cents. 14.98. Now this is really good considering what's going on with the dollar, and we'll get into that later. But now let's take a look at cryptocurrency today. 52.27. Let me refresh the chart. 52.38. It's up again, It's up just over 1% today on the day, but this is not unusual for cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency was running through a bear market. And it maybe not is still in a bear market. At this point, it's starting to look quite positive that maybe the bear market might be coming to an end. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency market capitalizations today. What we see is Bitcoin at $179 billion, 52% Bitcoin dominance, and we see most of the coins are up today. Ethereum is $171, XRP is 33.7 cents, Bitcoin Cash is $307.99, EOS is $5.47, Litecoin is $80.44, Binance is $20.82, Stellar is 11.7 cents, Cardano is 8.2 cents, Tron is 2.7 cents, Monero is $68.28, and Dash is $122.44 on the day. Now, those are our top coins. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones today. The Dow Jones is let me see. I got to refresh the page again to see what it's doing today. It's up 91 points on the day so far, 26,540. Now let me stop for a minute here and talk about the Dow Jones just for a minute. Last time we had a market correction, the Dow Jones fell down to 21,792 back around Christmas time of last year. Now the Fed came out and they made all these promises. Oh, we're gonna lower interest rates. Oh, we're gonna stop quantitative tightening and all this stuff, right? All promises. But they didn't really take any action. They just made a whole bunch of promises. I think the Dow is getting ready to roll over pretty soon and do a surprise act very similar to like what it did in December. That's what I think we got coming. Soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but soon. When that happens, it's going to take more than promises this time. This time it's going to take direct action to turn the Dow around. Now, the Federal Reserve hasn't got a whole lot of tricks left in their handbag. They're getting down on their tricks, but they'll pull out what tricks they have, and maybe they'll invent some new tricks and surprise people a little bit. Maybe helicopter money at a certain point when they feel desperate enough. Let's take a look now at oil. Oil price is $64.13 on the day. It's up 37 cents. OPEC has been driving this market up and up and up. It did reach a low of $43.93 back around that same time in December. Coincidental that the market took off and oil took off simultaneously? That makes me wonder, U.S. Treasuries today. We're seeing Treasury yields go up all the way across the board today. We're up fairly substantial numbers on the long end of the yield curve, especially the 10-year, 7-year, and 5-year. So the 1 month is 2.41, The 3-month is 2.43. The 6-month is 2.46. The 1 year is 2.44. The 2 year is 2.38. The 3 year is 2.35. The 5 year is 2.37. The 7 year is 2.46. The 10 year is 2.56. And the 30 year is 2.96. So that's what we have today. It's moving up all the way across the board. The least amount that's moving up, though, is in the short end of the yield curve. Now let's take a look at the dollar index today. You know, she's up and she's up strong. And this is why I said about gold and silver. You know, gold and silver are moving up, too, at the same time the dollar's moving up, which is a bit unusual. Because, you know, generally they move in opposite directions of each other. You get the dollar going up, gold goes down. And it's a very simple process. If the dollar goes up, it means you can buy more gold with your dollar. You know? And if gold goes up, it means that the dollar can't buy as much gold. You know? It's just as simple as that. Now let's talk about Deutsche Bank just for a minute. You know, Deutsche Bank, you know, they had to abandon those plans with the merger talks. They had to abandon it. And now they're justifying abandoning the merger talks. So evidently they're giving up on this merger. I would think Deutsche Bank would drop, given these circumstances, that they're all on their own. There's going to be no merger. It says that Thursday morning concerns about a mass defection of mutual clients move some or all of their businesses, is giving Deutsche Bank, long reputed to be the more reluctant partner, cold feet. So, Deutsche Bank's got cold feet. Evidently, this merger's not going to happen. And so, what we're looking at is Deutsche Bank that's stumbling along trying to stay alive. Now, here's what we have with Deutsche Bank stock right today. You know, it's barely up, but it's 7.83. And this is looking out over the last 6 months. And what we see ever since, again, December of last year, we see them treading water. Basically, they've just been going sideways for months now, just going sideways. But if we go out to the max chart, we can see that the real decline in Deutsche Bank started on 2007. Deutsche Bank stock back in 2007 was over €100. Now it's €7. Look at that decline. That's an amazing decline, and it's only continuing. It's just going to continue until it finally drops off a cliff in the end. But how much longer is it going to take before it suddenly drops off a cliff? Here's the thing. We got to keep watching it. I got to keep going back and looking at Deutsche Bank every day or two and seeing what their stock's doing. Because one of these days I'm going to go and look at Deutsche Bank, and the stock is going to be going down rapidly. And that's when the real fireworks could begin in the financial system. And I'm kind of waiting for that. I'm like a vulture sitting on a tree looking down at a dead carcass, you know, and he's waiting until it gets soft enough for him to... That's Deutsche Bank. I'm waiting for them. They're going down. They're going down. I'm just waiting for the day. You know, I know they're going to go down. It's just because look at this decline ever since 2007. You know, it ain't going to go up. You kidding me? What's going to make it go up? It's going to go down. Let's take a look now at the airplane. This is a picture of the Boeing 747 MAX right here. And I'll tell you what went wrong. You see where the engine is positioned on the wing? It's quite high on the wing. In fact, the top of the engine is equal to almost the top of the wing, as you can see in this picture here. Well, evidently what happened was, when they first designed these airplanes, they designed them for the engine to be underneath the wing. And it would be a smaller engine. And so it would clear the runway. It wouldn't be so low that it would touch the runway. But this big monster of an engine they put on there, and why they wanted to put these big, enormous engines on them, was they get better fuel efficiency. I guess 15% better fuel efficiency. So they tried to put the engine underneath the wing, evidently, and it scraped the runway. It was so big, it wouldn't fit under the wing. So they went to their designers, and they said, what are we going to do? And the designers said, well, move the engine a little bit forward, move it up a foot or two higher, and then we'll be able to position the engine so it won't touch the runway. And everybody said, oh, cheers, we got it all solved, you know. So that's what they did. But then when they got the engine in a new position and they took the plane up in the air, they found that it's climbed when the pilot would pull the throttle back, or the yoke, back to make the airplane climb. It will climb too quickly into the clouds. So I said, well, what are we going to do? It climbs too quick. And some of these college boys came in and they said, oh, I know what you can do. We'll create a new software program that'll make it so that it'll make the airplane go down instead of climbing so rapidly. So they installed the new software, evidently. See, I'm just putting it in my own words, but this is the basic story of what went on. So this new software, the pilot would be climbing the plane, and they made the software very aggressive. And suddenly the software would make the plane go down. I guess, I don't know, a couple thousand feet maybe, I don't know, make the plane go down. And so, anyway, then the pilot would have to pull the yoke back up because he wanted to go up. So basically, the software would make the plane go down, and I guess it would go down further than it would kick in before he could get the plane up as high as it was before when the software made it go down. So follow me on this. The software would make the plane go down, he'd lose a lot of altitude. He'd pull the yoke back to make the plane go back up to where he wanted it, but he'd only get halfway back up to where he wanted it to go, and then that software would kick in again and make the plane go down lower. It would be a repeating process, so he'd be jigging up and down, but always down lower and lower and lower until he had turned the software off. Very aggressive software. So anyway, I guess what happened was these guys were in the plane, and the plane started to go down, and he pulled back on the yoke to make it go up, and he'd make it go up a little bit, and then the software would make it go down a little bit, and then he'd be looking over at his co-pilot and saying, how do we turn this software off? And the co-pilot's flipping through the book, on how to run the software, and he's like, I don't know how to turn it off. It must be in this book here somewhere how to turn it off. And the pilot's saying, well, turn it off quick, and they're going lower and lower altitude. Basically, you get the rest of the story. So what they've done to fix this is they've made the software not so aggressive, which I guess basically means when the software kicks in, it doesn't take them down as low. It probably doesn't kick in as long. And probably the duration is less. Like maybe the software before, now I'm just guessing at this, I don't know the exact technical details of the software, but maybe the software before would kick in for a whole minute. Now they made it to kick in for only 10 seconds or something like that, so it's not so aggressively pulling the plane down. So that's one thing that they've done, made the software less aggressive. The second thing they've done now is they've trained the pilots where the switch is to turn the blinking software off. So now if the pilot's getting a problem, they know how to turn the software off. So I very much doubt that this is going to happen again, because of those two things that they've done to fix this problem now, so the pilots know how to turn the software off, and also the software is not as aggressive to begin with. Bad situation, caused a crash, but I guess they got it under hand now, and I'm going to tell you, I feel fairly confident. This is a nice, really nice airplane. I would fly in it. I'd fly in it. Now that they got this problem fixed, I'd fly in it. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.